Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eris. I am the bag lady. This is Eris Atelier, and today we're actually talking about bag stiffeners and interfaces. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're one of my old subscribers, mwah, I love you so much. And yeah, if you actually like to see this more often, just go down and smash the subscribe button. I always find it weird when they say that, like smash the subscribe button. All right, so today I'm actually going to cover a few types of interfaces and stiffeners. So because basically most of what I do is leather bags, if you are into like fabric, cotton, or let's say soft bags or beginner level bags, some of what I'm about to say is going to be kind of new for you. But if you still want to learn either ways, you are always welcome to share this experience with me. So the question that actually triggered this post was, her name is Lindsey Barlow. It's basically understanding bag stiffeners and reinforcements. So she's not the only person that's been asking about this. We also have Deshola Leather Works. Okay, I think this was a comment from one of my previous projects. It was, please, what's the type of reinforcement you use and what do you use on the side of the bags? I read that wrong. It's basically, please, what type of interface do you use for the side of the bags? All right, guys, and we have another one from Lamidi Oluwatunmise. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is, can manual machine sew this? So basically, she was referring to kariboard, or what they actually call cellulose paper. And the last question is from Plisma, is maco and fibre the same thing as chipboard? So to these my 4 subscribers, I hope what I'm about to ramble on about now is going to make sense to you, and this, from this post, you should be able to pick your answer. So let me give an attempt. So basically, for me is, I had to figure a lot of this on my own, because the problem is here in Nigeria, I don't know why, I don't know who started this thing. We never call things the actual name. If you're a Nigerian, you should understand this statement. I mean, for something like ramen noodles, Nigerians call it Indomie. For the longest time in my life, we used to call like powder detergent Omo. So this is actually a kind of, not even a kind of behavior, this is actually a behavior that sort of followed them everywhere. So when you hear me say things like kariboard is actually a brand that actually makes this cellulose paper. All right, so let me just quickly run through the different types of stiffeners and interfaces that I know. I'm sure there are many other options out there, but the 6 types that I've used in the past before and has worked for me. And if you are in Africa, you will know that we don't always have access to a lot of these things, so we just work with what we have. So for the sake of our Nigerian brethren, I'm going to also be putting the nicknames alongside the actual names of these stiffeners. Okay, so I have 6 on my list here. The first one, I just call it soft foam. It's basically what we use for the mattress. It's great for quilting. The next is EVA foam. That's a very long name. Ethylene vinyl acetate copolymer foam. Yeah, EVA foam is basically what we call maco. So maco is actually EVA foam. The next is EPE foam. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that, but I'm going to put the thing in the description. This is a type of waterproof foam. The next one is cellulose board. That is what we call kariboard. So basically, it's a form of fiber board. It's made with recycled paper. Most of it is actually made with recycled materials, which is like a really great and eco-friendly option. Okay, so the next one is what we call chipboard. So chipboard is basically like, okay, chipboard comes in a lot of thickness, but the most we see actually is this type. It's super, I think this is even like the, yeah, it's basically, so one side is white and one side is like grayish. I think sometimes it's even brown. And for people who actually don't have access to chipboard, a really good idea, and I do this sometimes even in my work, I actually just use recycled cereal boxes. This is a pancake mix. If you see inside, this one is kind of brown. So basically any form of recycled paper can actually be used, and this is what I use mostly for the side of my bag because it's not really thick, but it's also kind of flexible. So I don't know, I have the habit. I used to tell him that whenever he gets a new shirt, I tell him to keep the paper inside, so I have like a ton of them. So I, from time to time, I just sort of collect them and I recycle them in some of my products. All right, so the last interface, or rather, okay, no, this is not a stiffener. Yes, I was right. The last interface are the iron-on interface. So this one I use most times when I'm doing Ankara or I'm doing like a fabric bag, because I work with leather most times, so I almost never really use this. Because this iron on, if you don't know what this is basically what the tailors use. They have their own names for it, but they're all of them, the different thicknesses, the one that's woven, the one that's like paper, they are all sort of lumped together as iron on interface. I'm going to also get a clip on, I think I used that to make one Ankara bag in the past, so I'll also root that one out for you guys to understand why it's called iron on and why it's not always like a good idea to use it for leather. If you're okay with synthetic leather, I think I have to say this as a warning. Do not use heat, even to heat stamping and all. I always advise against it because some of these things are actually made of some kind of plastic or rubber. So if you put heat on it, it will melt. All right, so I've named the 6 types of interface. Oh my god, the hair is getting into my eye. Leave me alone. So I've named the 6 type of interface that I have used in the past. So now let me help you guys. Let me explain them one after the other. I think that's the best way to do it so you really understand. I will explain them one after the other and tell you when it's best time to use it. All right, so let's work our way backwards. So from the iron-on interface, it's actually good for soft fabric bag, or so I'm talking about tote bag, or basically anything that you're going to make with fabric. So that's why most times this is used by tailors and fashion designers that work with like clothes and all. So the next one is soft foam. I put a video I think like 3-4 posts ago on the quilting one. So for that video, that is what I actually use. It's basically just called soft foam. So the best thickness to use is either 1 centimeter or 5 mm. So that way you understand that the thicker your foam, the deeper your quilting is going to be. I don't always use this in other times, except maybe when I want to do like extra padding in a bag, maybe like for kids, or basically anything that you need to sort of just give that like really poofy and fluffy feel. That is when I use the soft foam. So for the EVA foam, or maco like Nigerians will call it, it's actually good for medium soft bags, so you can use that in place of kariboard. But this is what I do whenever I want to use interface, because I have to figure everything out on my own. So when you see the material, you should be able to imagine how thick your bag is, or your bag is going to be. I even had this one time when I was using the maco that was a little too soft, so I started like doubling it. Like I had to put like contact adhesive and put another layer, because the thicker your interface, the stiffer your bag is going to be. So that one, you consider your sewing machine, if you have domestic or if you have industrial. So that is also something to consider too when you are picking your interface. So for the EPE foam, I used this for school bags and also gadget bags. So it's waterproof. That's good. That's extra waterproofing on the bag. And it's soft, but not as soft as the first soft foam, not as soft as the mattress. So it's soft, it's waterproof, so it's also good for school bags. And sometimes when you make like leather bags but you want the hand to be a little fluffy, you can actually use this for the hand. Maybe if it's a gear bag or something, to help like spread out the weight on the shoulder. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm just rambling. All right, the second to last one is a cellulose board or kariboard. So I think here in Nigeria, this is what pretty much everybody uses. So they all come in different thicknesses. I don't know if these have like sizes and all, but whenever I'm in the market, I don't always buy the lightest one. If there is a way they arrange them from the softest to the hardest, and when I say hard, I mean hard. Wait, I have a piece here. Yes. When I mean hard, It's like, this looks like 2 millimeter thick. Like, so when you're making like shoes and all, this is the thick one, because you can compare the thickness of this one to this one, you can actually see them side by side and you can see the difference. So most times when I make bags, I use this, but if I want to make like a really hard shell bag, I use this. I don't know why I just had this sitting on my table. Okay, so the last one is chipboard. So chipboard is way softer, but don't get me wrong, I actually googled one time, actually found out that this chipboard, they actually get really thick, as in they have like really thick options. So I think here we just call everything chipboard because we always buy the softest one available, which is the one, it has the same texture with the cereal box and everything's similar. But if you are in another country and you actually find a chipboard in a thicker texture, I think you can actually use that, especially when you don't have access to a cellulose board. Just focus on the thickness instead of the name, because if I even find a chipboard that's thicker, I could use that also. And one last thing before I go is that when you're picking your stiffeners, they actually affect the overall weight of the product. So if you're making something with synthetic leather and oh my god, I'm just rambling, and you want your bag to have this like really good like weight, you should actually use a fiber board or or EVA foam. Yeah, I think those two usually have the right amount of balance, but I think you should focus more on fiberboard because they always give like a really structured feel. And a lot of people in Nigeria here, when we make handmade bags, we actually prefer to use the fiberboard because it always gives like a really good and professional finish, and it helps really spread out your work, and your work looks like really nice and neat. So that's just my own 2 cents on the issue. So if you have any other questions about stiffeners, these are the 6 options I've used. I don't know if you guys have used other types. If you have used another type and you want people to try it out, please, you can put it in the comment section and let's discuss this. But what is your favorite type of interface or stiffener? Let me know in the comment section. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. I really hope you learned something. This is something I wanted to do for a while now, but I wanted it to be brief and not too talky because I tend to ramble a lot. Alright, thanks for watching my video. Again, my name is Eris. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next post. I'm thinking of making a school bag. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section. Bye.